Donald Jordan, Ida Williams joining us here on the show this morning. Good morning to you two.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You guys are with Pathways Behavioral Health, right?
That's right. Pathways over at West Tennessee Healthcare.
Now, this May, I don't know if anybody knew this, May is Behavioral Health Month.
I did not know that.
That's
It
right.
is. Look for the green.
Mental
for
Health
the green.
Awareness Month. Yep.
I look for the green. That's why I show up to work all the time. Behavioral health. Tell me a little bit about, because I guess there are misconceptions and everything about what we think of when first thing we think is behavioral health. We think somebody's crazy. I mean, it's number one on the list, right?
Exactly. I think there's been kind of a name game going on probably for decades around mental health, and behavioral health is one of the terms that came out of that, which really it's a huge umbrella that covers all kinds of stuff. Everything from my kid did great in school last year, and this year they're getting in trouble every day and their grades are dropping. That's behavioral health. Behavioral health is my wife and I are having trouble in our marriage. All of a sudden we don't know what to do, but we want to work on it. That's behavioral health. And then other stuff like depression, suicidal thoughts. I mean, it covers the whole spectrum.
Wow.
Yeah, so it really is everything.
And it includes women of certain ages, too.
I get that.
You start having...
Or say, I'm looking at one over here.
You look at two of them. You start feeling like I'm not myself.
Oh, my gosh.
This is not me. I'm having out-of-body experience.
I feel like I'm burning on fire from the inside out. Yes.
And that causes a little anger.
And no sleep. And that
no
causes
sleep,
irritability.
Depression, irritability,
Yes.
anxiety.
Speaking my language.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I deal with that irritability every
Stop
morning.
it. I have to deal with him every morning.
They go through things, too. They just don't want to tell you.
I know they don't.
I know.
They don't.
Yeah, that's mental health too.
That
All
is
of
mental
it.
health. All of it.
So, well, when we're talking about behavioral health, is that the same thing as mental health, behavioral health, or are they kind of two separate entities?
I think they could be interchangeable, really. I think behavioral health is one way to help people realize it's not just, the term people might say crazy. It's not, people do have schizophrenia. We're honored to serve them. People do have some severe mental health diagnoses, but behavioral health is all of it. So somebody's depressed. All the issues around changing seasons of life and life phases.
I like how you frame that up.
Anxiety. Listen, I'm not going to mess with
That
the
was
two
a
of y'all. This
nice
is-
way of saying menopause on the show right there.
Look, he's a wise
I'm
man over there.
I'm
You
not
need to
sitting
chill
very
out,
close
Michael.
to you, but I'm not gonna risk it either.
I don't suggest it.
There was a stigma a long time ago, and I don't think that's a stigma anymore. I think social media, television, things like that have kind of cleared that up a little bit over the years. But there was a stigma, if you back up, say, 20, 30 years ago for sure, that going to talk to someone about your mental state meant you were loony, basically. Now it's more seen, I guess, as how many people don't have someone that they can go and talk to, because now it's more of a you should do this instead of, you're going to look this way if you do.
Yeah, that's true. It did have a bad stigma. But a lot of it was due to people thinking that if I go talk to somebody, they're going to medicate me, and I don't want to take no medicine.
Well,
I
that's
don't
true.
need any
Yeah.
medicines. And that was the generation that we lived in.
Right.
And the things that you heard in my, in my culture, we would hear that you know that so-and-so had a breakdown, and they sent her to Western. And so it's like it's
feel
the
so
negative.
sorry for her.
I feel so sorry for
Pitiful.
her.
It's so pitiful.
Right, and you stay away, and people stayed away from them. So now we want people to embrace them. When you see this, and you see some changes in people, help to alleviate the stigma by saying, "What can I do?"
Absolutely.
What led to? Because I know that if you go back years, you mentioned Western, because some people may not know what that means. I grew up and was born and raised in Bolivar.
Okay.
So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
He has an in-depth knowledge of
yeah.
that situation.
Well, I mean, used to, and again, we go back and reflect on things. Used to, and they said, well, they're going to send you to Bolivar.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even say Western. They would just say
That's
the
right.
town of Bolivar. They're going
That's
to
right.
send you there because that was a mental institution of sorts at one time. Now, over the years, it kind of changed and developed. When did we get to the point to where we realized that there was more to mental health as far as working on it as opposed to medicating it?
I'd say some folks are there and some folks aren't there yet. So that's why we're so grateful for conversations like these, really, to help. Because for some people, it is medication. Mm-hmm. And some folks are still wrestling with, I don't need medicine. I just need to knuckle up and do this. People with diabetes, people with issues with blood sugar, they don't have high blood pressure. They don't usually have those questions. It's
Right,
not if
right.
I worked harder, I could fix this. And so part of the conversation is recognizing there is a place for medication. But then, again, back to the conversation around behavioral health, it's really realizing how huge of a spectrum mental health is. And sometimes it's talking to a professional. Sometimes it's talking to a friend. And a friend
Right.
saying, hey, me too. That
Right.
happens to me too. And then suddenly you realize you're not alone. Some of that
Yeah.
stigma
And
falls
not
away.
being afraid to, when you talk to a behavioral health specialist, don't be afraid to be open.
See, and I bet that happens more often than not.
And it does. And
because-
you don't always jive with that
Right.
person, but if you don't, there's another person. Just be open so that they can try to help you. And we've got several professionals.
I've got a question. I have heard, and I think it's true, there is an isolation crisis in the country right now. Do y'all see that? Like people aren't as connected in their own communities as we used to be.
I think it started with COVID, actually.
Absolutely. I think the data shows really it was already starting
Right.
pre-COVID, and then COVID put us all in boxes, even within our own homes. We were
Right.
separated from the other people we love. That's really why this year for Mental Health Awareness Month, we've been leaning into the phrase healing happens in community.
Yes, yes.
The data is
does.
crazy. It's wild. Counseling helps. Counseling and medication helps more. When you add community, which just means somebody you trust that you can talk to, that you can laugh with, have a cup of coffee with, the outcomes go through the roof.
Has social media kind of hurt the overall aspect of behavioral health? And I ask that question because you will see people on a consistent basis bear their aggressions, souls,
Yeah.
everything else on social media. To me, it seems like a reach out for someone to be able to talk to, but they don't seek someone who is professionally trained to do it. They just bleh, right out on social media instead.
And you hear a lot of that. You actually hear them. Some of them will
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
I think it is detrimental to our younger generation who's seeing this, who feel this is the only way I can get my feelings out, as opposed to talking to somebody face to face.
Right.
And at the same time, the flip side of that is a younger generation knows, you know what, I should be talking about this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
That's
just don't know
finding
who
the
to go
right-
to.
That's
yeah.
right. It's finding the right spot to do it because the feedback you might get online, the feedback
Right.
you get online will definitely be different
Yeah.
And what you get.
than the feedback you
Yeah.
get from somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get the bad side of
Right.
that, in other words.
That's right.
Most
That's right.
definitely.
But it does. It shows that people are looking for community. They're looking for a place where they're recognized that I do belong here. I'm not the only one that's dealing with this. And yeah, unfortunately, if you only find it online, it comes with a lot of other kind of poison on the back end of it.
It does.
Yeah.
And there's some isolation in that too.
Well, isn't that feeling of being lonely like back from when we lived in caves and there were safety in numbers? So if you were feeling lonely, it was kind of the, hey, dummy, get back to your folks because a saber-toothed tiger's going to eat you, right?
I think that's a brilliant comment. Yes, we were made to be with other people.
Exactly.
For all to reproduce, for safety, to get the job done, to have a good
Everything.
time. If you laugh by yourself all the time, maybe come see us if you're always by yourself. But when you're laughing,
Why are
with
you looking at me over
your
there,
people,
Donald?
Yeah, well, you're not with
I
your
don't
people.
know. That sounds like a little insecurity coming out. What do y'all think of that?
Again, we'll talk about how we feel about this during the commercial break.
Yes,
Exactly.
We're here.
They're here for me.
They're here
Right.
for us,
Help us here.
Michael. We need this.
Is there a way? I mean, because I mentioned the social media, and that's normally where the kids are going to put that out. But I don't see the kids near as much as I see the adults doing this. I see the adults who are putting the information on there, saying, I'm hurting, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, instead of reaching out to get help.
You see the adults doing it, but the kids are watching it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're
are.
watching it,
Yeah.
and because I've got a soon-to-be 13-year-old grandson, and it's getting harder and harder to manage his social media access, and the things he does something different every time we see each other.
There's so
something
many
different, and he's
platforms.
getting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
From one of the platforms. I'm a Facebooker. I don't know nothing about snapping and chatting and all that.
Yeah, me either.
So I Facebook everything, and so they get on the things that they understand better. and they learn things that
Yeah.
some of us just don't know about.
We realized you didn't understand Snapchat when you called it snapping and chatting. So,
No, I like that.
Welcome to work every day with
I love
Howard.
that.
Every day you get a new name.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to call it from now on.
Yep.
and there are so many different platforms out there too that they have access to. Is there a difference in how you go about talking or treating people from that age group to the adult side? I would think there is.
Yeah, I think there usually is an awareness of how much, a teenager is not supposed to have it all together. I know that's
No.
surprising to everybody.
Their frontal lobes aren't developed yet.
That's right. Adult men's frontal lobes
About
aren't
30.
developed
Yeah, about
yet.
30-ish.
So realizing what's developmentally appropriate, a teenager having a meltdown, that's the time to have a meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
So even what you're talking about, seeing some adults have a meltdown online or wherever, part of that's showing we're missing some of the stuff we were learning in community earlier. So a teenage having a meltdown and then adults walking them through, how do we handle that next time? That's a good way for that to happen.
Emotional regulation.
Exactly.
And learning
exactly.
that young. Learning
Yeah.
that young.
Right. Learn it young.
If people want to find more information, of course, we have a place on our website, talkinwesttn.com. We call it Talkin' Health, and there's a lot of blogs, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of information that we share on there from West Tennessee Healthcare. So if they need more information about who to reach out to, how they can reach out, where can they find that, guys?
They can go to our website, wth.org/pathways, and I want to kind of make this our big push. If you can call or text 988 from anywhere.
Okay.
Yes.
It is like the mental health, behavioral health